The story begins on a calm morning in Manhattan. A man in simple khakis and a faded polo shirt enters the luxurious 57th Street showroom of Johnson and Associates, one of the most powerful real estate firms in the country. No one knows the truth. This ordinary customer is David Johnson, the CEO and owner of the entire company. Today, he isn't here for a meeting. He is here undercover to see how customers, especially minority customers, are treated when leadership isn't watching. From the moment he enters, the truth becomes painfully clear. Three employees: Tom, the senior manager, Janet, the top agent, and Ashley, the young associate, look him up and down with disgust. They don't greet him. They don't ask him what he needs. They don't even acknowledge him. Instead, they make faces, whisper to each other, and continue scrolling on their phones. Ashley messages her coworkers on Slack. Another one of those customers. They all look the same. She laughs. They laugh. David waits, quiet, patient, watching. The only staff member who treats him like a human being is Marcus, the security guard. He gives David a respectful nod and asks gently, "Sir, do you need any help?" That moment tells David everything he needs to know: who respects people and who respects power. 10 minutes pass, still no help. Finally, Mrs. Patterson, an elderly woman looking for an apartment, arrives. But staff swarm her immediately, offering champagne, smiling, rolling out luxury treatment. The contrast is painful. A young intern named Sarah, carrying coffee and her phone, notices the discrimination and quietly starts a live stream. She whispers to her viewers, "They're ignoring him because he doesn't look rich." Thousands join within minutes. Humiliation turns into evidence. But David remains calm. Not angry, not emotional, just observant. Moments later, Ashley approaches him with pure disrespect and says, "Sir, we're busy with real clients. Maybe check somewhere more affordable." That is the final confirmation David needed. He looks at her quietly and says, "Thank you. I've seen enough." He presses the elevator button. The staff laughed behind him as the doors close. But they do not know. This is the moment their entire world begins to collapse. The elevator doors close and everything changes. By the time they open on the 48th floor, David Johnson is no longer the poor customer in khakis. Inside the private executive washroom, he transforms. Tom Ford charcoal suit, Italian leather shoes, a watch worth more than most cars. The CEO has returned. He walks straight into the boardroom, a massive room with mahogany doors and a table large enough to land a helicopter on. Inside, the top 12 executives look tense. The live stream is still exploding online. 127,000 views in the last hour. Stock price already dropping. PR calls coming from CNN, NBC, New York Times. The CFO, Sarah Chen, not the intern, delivers the first blow. Projected damages, $60 to $80 million and rising. Legal counsel, Robert Martinez, flips open a thick folder. 23 documented discrimination incidents in 6 months. Each one carries $16,000 federal penalties, $50,000 state penalties, and unlimited civil lawsuit damages. David's jaw tightens. The company he built is under attack from the inside. Then, Dr. Maya Patel, diversity director, delivers the human cost. 11 families denied opportunities. 7 buyers chased away. Systematic exclusion of an entire demographic. Silence fills the room. Numbers turn human. Bias becomes suffering. David finally speaks. Voice quiet, but absolute. Bring them up. Security receives orders. Moments later, behind the glass wall, Tom, Janet, and Ashley step off the elevator. Their confidence is gone. Tom looks rumpled, Janet clutches her purse, and Ashley's mascara is running down her cheeks. And behind them is Marcus, the security guard, brought in as a witness, not a suspect. The 3 employees are escorted into the boardroom like criminals facing a judge. They sit. David does not. He stands behind his chair, the position of power. He reads their sins clearly. Tom Rodriguez, 6 discrimination complaints. Janet Rue, 7 minority families denied service. Ashley Morrison, hostile workplace messages. No yelling, no drama. Just cold, absolute accountability. Ashley begins to sob. Tom tries to speak. Janet's legs tremble. Then, David presses a button. The wall screens light up. Security footage. Text logs. Recorded conversations. Every moment of discrimination. Every humiliating comment. Every act of bias they thought no one saw. They watch themselves. Exposed. David's voice cuts through the silence. You told a Black physician making $300,000 a year to try a neighborhood more suited to her background? Tom lowers his eyes, ashamed. You demanded citizenship papers from a Korean-American entrepreneur holding a U.S. passport. Janet's breath catches. Her world is collapsing. With each clip, the truth becomes undeniable. David delivers the final blow. Your actions could destroy 2,847 jobs across 127 locations, all because you chose discrimination. The room freezes. And then he gives them their 2 choices. Leona's calm presence continues to unsettle the cabin. Everyone else sees only a quiet, composed Black woman, but the system sees something else. The Tier 1 compliance protocol is now fully active. Cameras begin silently recalibrating. Flight deck logs update. Time-stamped entries appear in the internal audit stream. Stacy doesn't know it yet, but she is now under investigation at a federal level. Still, Leona says nothing. Instead, she pulls out her journal and writes one small sentence. Dignity does not negotiate. Moments later, the cabin manager arrives, confused but trying to appear confident. She senses something is wrong, not with Leona, but around her. She asks if everything is okay. Leona simply nods. The manager walks away uneasy. In the cockpit, Darren is flying with perfect steadiness, but his voice is different. Quiet, controlled, focused. He knows exactly what's unfolding in the cabin, and he knows his wife will never make a scene, but she will never let injustice pass silently. He prepares for the next step of the protocol. By the time the aircraft reaches cruising altitude, the escalation has already triggered 3 major checks. Flagged behavioral deviation by crew, passenger dignity violation alert, cross-reference previous complaint patterns. Everything is pointing to one person. Stacy Coburn. But for now, Leota remains still, composed, unshaken. This is the beginning of change, the kind that happens without noise. The flight continues smoothly on the surface, but behind the scenes, the system deepens its investigation. Without a word from Leona, the Tier 1 protocol now triggers a mid-flight compliance sync, a rare event. In the airline's headquarters, an alert appears on a secure screen. Priority case: in-flight dignity violation. Passenger, Leona Briggs. Status: active. Executives pause. They know that name. Her husband